I'm here to tell you about the Calming Strategies Toolbox, and if you're watching this video on YouTube, a link to this website page will be in the YouTube description. This toolbox was built to help everyone, and that's students, parents, teachers, everyone, respond to our emotions in a helpful, healthy way. And I'm talking about emotions like angry, frustrated, anxious, nervous, worried, upset. If you've been feeling these emotions, those are all different words for something we call stress. And stress is really a mix of a few chemicals that just make our brain and our body work a different way for a little while. And I like to say it's kind of like a potion. It's like someone poured a little bit of that potion or a lot onto our brain and our body, and it just works a little differently for a little while. And we can feel like we have a little bit of the stress potion in us, and that might feel like we're uncomfortable or we're struggling, or it can feel like a lot. Maybe quickly we go from feeling pretty calm to overwhelmed or even totally out of control. And like I said, that can happen slow or fast. So I could be feeling really calm and then something happens and suddenly I feel overwhelmed or even totally out of control. Or it could happen slow and steady, where for days or for weeks on end even, I feel on edge or like I'm struggling most of the day or all of the day. And the Calming Strategies Toolbox was built to help us with all of those things. So what we did is take all the tools that we know work to help us respond to those kinds of emotions, and we put them into 5 different buckets. And these buckets help us do different things. So the first is calming our body. And when you're stressed out or upset, your body works a different way. Like I said, your muscles get tense, your heart beats faster, you start to breathe faster, and you don't take deep breaths. Calming our thoughts is important because when we're worried or nervous or upset or angry, it's like there's a nervous or an angry tornado in our head with all these negative thoughts, and we need to do something about that and respond to it. Expressing ourselves is important because it's important to get that tornado out of our heads. So sharing it with a person that we trust who will respond in a caring way, or journaling, for example, just getting it out. Changing our space. So taking a walk or moving away, or just changing the audio that we're listening to, changing the environment around us, and then taking care of ourselves. So there's a lot we can do to set ourselves up by spending time with people that we enjoy, doing activities that we enjoy, taking care of our physical health, for example, that make it less likely we're going to feel stressed and upset. And I'm going to tell you about one of my favorite things in the Calming Strategies Toolbox, the mood meter. And it's on this page, Express Yourself. Part of expressing yourself is just expressing your emotions or naming your feeling. And what we know is that just naming your feeling, so if I say I'm feeling angry, that right there helps me get some control over my feeling and respond to it in a better way. So we have a couple different ways to help us name our feeling. Like I said, one of my favorites is the mood meter. And there's a couple different versions of the mood meter. I'm going to scroll down to this third one. And what this does is take all the emotions or feelings that we can have and organizes them around 2 different things. And one is energy. So I might feel very, very low energy, like I'm almost asleep. And on the other end, I could feel high energy, so about the most energetic I've ever felt. And then pleasantness. So on one end, completely unpleasant, the least pleasant I've ever been. And on the other end, super, super pleasant, the most pleasant I've ever been. So say that I'm not quite in the middle, not quite neutral. I'm just a little bit feeling unpleasant. And say my energy is on the higher end, but not way up here where I'm super energetic, kind of in the middle here, maybe a 2. And if I know I'm a little bit unpleasant and a little bit high energy, I'm feeling irritated. So how am I going to respond to that in a positive, healthy, helpful way? Well, there's a lot of different things I could do. I could calm my body. So for example, there are some videos that'll guide me with someone talking to me, some music playing. There's a GIF or a GIF right here that I could watch, or there's some posters right here that will guide me through different kinds of breathing exercises. And this little symbol is here to show me that this is kind of like an emergency brake tool. So some of these tools are meant to help us respond right in the moment when we're about to lose control. And they're kind of like the emergency brake we need to pull so that we don't do anything we're going to regret later on. So deep breathing is one of those. When we're starting to lose control, taking a big deep breath and hopefully keeping going with a few more at least is one of the fastest things that we can do to help respond in a good way. Calming our thoughts. So I could count, counting to 10 or counting to 20 or some other number, again, is kind of like that emergency brake. It's going to help me put the brakes on really fast by distracting myself from that nervous or angry tornado of thoughts in my head. If I have a little bit more time, like say I'm just struggling or a little uncomfortable, I just notice I'm a little bit off today, I could ask for a break or just find time for a break and zone out a little bit, distract myself and color one of these coloring sheets. I could think about my self-talk, so think about the thoughts that are in my head and take this poster and ask myself these questions about my thoughts and maybe help me reframe them. Expressing myself. So I already did that a little bit by naming my emotion that I'm feeling a little irritated right now. So I could talk it out. I could find a friend or a coach or a teacher, someone to talk to and share what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. If that's not available, I could write it out, for example. I could take a pen and a paper and write out just what I'm feeling, what's going through my head, or I could open up the notes app on my phone. There's a lot of different ways I could write it out. Could change my space. So one thing I could do is, if I'm, for example, about to make a mistake, I'm feeling irritated and it's getting worse and I might say or do something I'm gonna regret later, better choice would be to walk away and take a break. And if I'm at school and I'm a student, I'm probably gonna have to ask for permission before I do that, but finding a way to take a break and walking away. I could change my audio. So with a pair of headphones, for example, I could listen to some calming music. Then taking care of myself. So if I, for example, notice that I've been feeling irritated most of today, I could take the dog for a walk. I could listen to a podcast that I like or read a book. There are some enjoyable activities that I could do to help pull myself out of that feeling of being irritated and shift to something else. So that's just scratching the surface. There's a lot of tools in the Calming Strategies toolbox. I hope you enjoy looking through it and finding the tools that work best for you. Thanks for spending this time with me. Have a great day and please be well.